Hello everyone, welcome to Muftan of Lab Live YouTube channel. We are having a conversation with the coach of Ghana's athletics chief, Christian Nsiah. He has led the quartet to break a record that they set just a couple of years ago, about 2 years ago, or just a year ago rather. They set a national record of 38.08 seconds, and at the biggest stage when it comes to athletics, they have broken that record with a new time of 38.07 seconds. Just in the next couple of months, the rest of Africa will be assembling in Ghana for the Africa Games 2023. If there's ever a moment Ghana would believe that gold in the athletics discipline could be won by the country, this is the moment. We've got a quartet who all have the capabilities of doing sub-10. They've already done sub-10. So what next? What must we do to stand a better chance of competing against the best in the continent and walking away with medals? Coach Christian Nsiah is my guest. Coach, first of all, the World Athletics Championship, you have achieved a feat that many would say is the best to ever happen to Ghana athletics. A new national record for the quartet. Tell us your general overview of Ghana's participation in this championship before we zoom down to what we must do to ensure that we have a team capable of winning medals for the 2023 Africa.
Well, if I must say, overall, the performance has been good.
Yeah.
However, of course, as you realize, the 100 meters, we didn't get what we expected.
Yeah.
The 800 meters, we got disqualified for a race that a guy ran pretty well, and I was expecting him to get into the final. Come to the long jump for the women, Deborah Aqua, she was nursing an injury for the past 3 days, and even though she fouled 2 of her jumps, if you look at the jumps that she had, they were huge jumps.
Yeah.
And so overall, I would say that this has been a wonderful competition experience for our team. However, we still have some work to do. Having the national record is an amazing feat, but if you look at our guys, for example, at the end of the race, they were not celebrating that they have broken the national record because they wanted to be on that stage.
Yeah.
So that's the next thing that we are hoping for, that we'll get on that stage next year at the World Championships. So for the guys, kudos to them. But again, we need to do better because this national record was off a 1 week preparation.
Yeah.
We actually got, sometimes some things happen and we say we are sad about it, but it was a blessing in disguise that the 100 meters didn't go as planned. So we had Azamati and Joe Paul to train with a couple of more days than we had. Yeah. So I think that this was good and there's more from the guys to come.
Talk to me about the disqualification of Alex Amankwa after that 800 meters race. Many of us had thought he was making it to the semi-final. Unfortunately, it never happened. How disappointing was it for the team?
It was very disappointing in the sense that watching him at training, we all knew that the guy was in shape and he was ready to fly. Yeah. And so for something minor like that to be used to disqualify him, this is like in soccer, what they call VAR. That's what happened. They used the video assistant referee to disqualify him. There was no protest from anybody, but the VAR person was watching the whole thing. And if you watch the race, he was very close to the line and he stepped on it 3 times. And at a certain point, when he was getting close to the cone where they break, he had moved out. I even suspect that that's what attracted the attention of the VAR guy to it. Yeah.
If you are to put in percentage terms for Ghana's performance in this championship, where will you put Ghana?
Well, given how much we invested in the kids, I would say 100%. I mean, if you ask me about how I rate our preparation, that's different story.
So, rate the preparations.
Preparation, I would say, as a professor, I'll give Ghana an F in preparation.
So, 20%?
No, I won't even give 20%. I'll give it 0.
And the success is 100%?
The success is 100% because, look, if you invest $0 in somebody and the person come and be ranked number 5 in the world, that's 100%, actually 1,000%, over 1,000,000% return on investment.
Yeah. Yes. Now, talk to me briefly. This is a crop of athletes that many of us say they are the brightest spot if Ghana is to do well in the world in the Africa Games 2023. Tell us, what must we do?
So for the 2023 All African Games, I would say that we have to do several things. We need to do things for these athletes that you saw here. Some of them that were not here, but they are close to being at this level. For example, Joe Paul is done with school.
Yeah.
Joseph Manuel is done with his undergraduate degree. He's going to be starting his master's degree. T20, Emmanuel Yeboah, he's done with school. Deborah Aqua is done with school. What's her name? Abigail Kwatin. She is doing her master's. She's done running with it for her school. How do they fend for themselves at this point? We need to find a way of sponsoring them. I call on corporate Ghana. I call on the government. We need to find a way of helping them survive, because otherwise they're going to eventually quit the sport, because there's no way they can fend for themselves and run this, because even going to competitions, to participate in competitions costs money.
Yes.
Right? So without us sponsoring them, it's a big deal. So we need to find a way of giving them some monthly allowance, one. Two, you asked me about, you have asked me before about why does it really have problems sometimes?
Yeah.
It's because we don't compete with each other. Because look at this, several of the countries that we beat today, they have at least run 5 relay events this year, and we have run 0. So one other thing is to find money to take these kids from one place to the other.
Not to cut you, but in other words, if Ghana were to have a better preparations, we probably could be finishing in the podium.
Of course. Of course. If look at what we've been able to do with 0 preparations, 1 week preparation, I'll say, and we were able to get fit. What can we do with more preparation time? Because relay, as you could tell, for example, the Jamaicans couldn't win the women's race today, which is surprising to everybody. And to me, it's not surprise. It's all about chemistry. And if the team is not gelling together, there's always going to be an issue. So that's one of the things that our request that we have. Secondly, for every Azamati that you see here, we have a couple of them in Ghana too. There are several kids in Ghana that can participate at this level. We are not doing enough for them either. Because even though these days they have some competitions in Ghana and all that, I don't think that's enough. They need to go outside Ghana to have some experience. There are several competitions that happens in Africa. We need to take them there. Let them compete. These are all experiences. I remember I was talking to Alex earlier on, your colleague, and he asked me some questions about how some of our athletes go to the world stage and they get stage fright. This is how you solve the problems. It starts from then, right? Because when we were going through the system, there were times that they would take local athletes and take them to Germany and let them compete over there for a couple of months before we come back home to have a national trial. Look, in Ghana today, we don't even have national trials.
It's a question of investment.
It is. It is. It seems that we have put the sports on cruise control, and whoever can pilot it, pilots it. And the kids are doing this out of their own goodwill. That like nobody's giving them anything. Like we came here. Normally, football was going to go to a tournament like this, to the World Cup. This is our World Cup. We'll be talking about winning bonuses and all that. Nobody mentioned anything about winning bonuses to these athletes. As we speak, nobody has asked, nobody has offered, nothing of that sort. There's no motivation apart from their own motivation that they want to succeed and make the country proud. See, these are some of the things, little things that we can do to encourage these boys and ladies to go out there and make the country proud.
How disappointing would it be if these athletes do not get sponsorship and they end up with early retirement? How disappointing would it be?
Well, it would be a very bad loss for our country, because out of the 5 guys we brought to this event, only one of them is 30. The rest of them are very young people. who, if we take good care of, they have at least 8 years to compete for the country. And if we mess up with these people, because they are serving as role models for the up and coming people.
Yes.
Because Azamati just got here not long ago, and look what he has been able to achieve. So there are a lot of kids in Ghana that want to be him.
Yeah.
But if they watch him and they realize, oh, hey, look what happened to him, why would they also want to go through that process? So it's not just losing these athletes, it's also about the impact that will have on the up and coming athletes.
Talk to me about the national record that was set. Are these athletes that are capable of doing sub 38?
Oh, actually, I thought they did 38 and sub 38 today. But if you look at the race at the very end, Joe Paul let off a little bit because he was feeling some tightness in his hamstring. I really thought they did it today. But yeah, we'll take whatever we got.
But how long would it take us to achieve that?
I don't think we are far away. Because if you look, for example, our third leg, Joseph Menu, just a year, he just got on our team last year when we were going to Silesia.
Yeah.
That's the first time he ran on the national team.
Yeah.
And what happened in Silesia, he didn't run that well in the curve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at what he did.
We all recall that very story.
Yeah, look at what he did these past 2 days. For the 2 days in a row, he's run the fastest curve in the world. The third leg, he ran the fastest leg.
Yeah.
2 days in a row.
9.21.
So imagine that. That's why I'm saying we're not far away. If we are able to give these guys the opportunities that they need, we will be celebrating better than we did at this competition.
Commonwealth Games, what are our chances?
Great. I mean, I know that they're taking some athletes more than we brought here. For example, somebody like Abigail Kwatin, who just slightly missed the coming here.
Yeah,
she is a phenomenal talent, and I think she's going to do well. There are some athletes coming from Ghana. They are hungry. They'll do well.
And these boys too.
Yes.
That we have here.
And but Azamati has something to prove.
With Menu's absence, is that going to be a big blow?
It is a blow, but I don't think we are holding our heads on that. I love this group of athletes. They never really take no for an answer. So even though, and whenever a new guy comes into the team, you will never notice it. The new guy comes in and they fit in like a glove. So I expect that they will still do amazingly over there. But Joe Paul, for example, he was coming out off an injury. So you can tell as the competition was going on, he started picking form as we go. So I expect that he's going to do very well at the Commonwealth Games as well. So I really believe that they're going to do well over there.
Coach, I appreciate your time. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. Any final words that you would like to give? There was one thing that actually came to my mind. I read an article that was written by one of my colleagues, Fentio, who said, if Ghana does not take our time, these athletes would retire like we lost the likes of Jama Champion, Flins Owusu, and co. And it kind of drew my attention to the fact that if it was football, the whole country would be asking for us to be there. But here, we're left to be orphans.
Right. The thing is that Fentio is right. Think about it this way. If Azamati was your son, and Azamati decides to switch nationalities and run for Qatar, will you be sad? I wouldn't.
Is that a possibility?
It is a possibility.
Is it something they are considering?
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that if we are not careful, it may not be an early retirement issue.
They could switch nationality.
Of course. The only thing that's keeping these guys, because Azamati can walk into many national teams around the world.
Yeah.
Remember, we have had some situations like that before.
Yeah.
There was a time that the whole Canadian national team, 3 out of the 4 of the women relay were actually all 4 of them were Ghanaians, but 3 out of the 4 were born in Ghana, and we went to Commonwealth Games and they disappeared.
Wow.
Okay, so it's not far-fetched for that to happen. I don't think they're going to do that. These are very, very patriotic guys.
Yeah.
I don't think they will do that. but they may give up and not compete anymore.
Fento, do you have a question for him? Just ask it, let me go. Just ask a coach a question, let me go.
Fento is sad Chelsea lost today.
Yeah, equally Chelsea fan, is it?
Yeah, I am a Chelsea fan.
What disappointing? Oh.
I've asked him about the quality of coaching we have back.
Yes. That's quite an interesting one. And it actually reminds me of a conversation that I had with the World Athletics president, Sebastian Coe. And he told me that Ghana needs to invest in coaching.
Well, I don't think it's just a coaching matter, because in the end, if you give somebody knowledge without the right tools to use the knowledge with, it's useless. I think the coaches in Ghana are doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these coaches are basically the parents of the kids. If it wasn't for those coaches that some people bash, you wouldn't be finding the Azamatis and all this stuff. So I would never say that the coaching in Ghana is bad. My problem is the tools that we give them, because they do not have the equipment. Like when they just recently, the past athletes held a competition in Kumasi.
In Kumasi, yeah.
They had to use some of the money that they were sponsoring the event with to move hurdles from Cape Coast to Kumasi and back. And we just renovated the Kumasi Sports Stadium with our equipment. These are the critical issues. Even if the coaches need more training, where is the training going to come from? Who is investing in that process? So for me, the coaches in Ghana, they are the bread and butter of what we are doing here. Sometimes even for me, I feel guilty in doing what I'm doing, because I feel that I'm taking something away from them, because somebody should be here doing that. And the only reason why I got involved in this is Ghana Athletics Association told me that every time I travel with the team, there will be a local coach that will come with us, that basically we share ideas and
learn.
Yes, and this is what happened here. I was working with Elam. Yes, Elam has just moved to the U.S. to pursue his master's degree with the intent of going back to Ghana. And I loved working with him. We shared ideas. Again, I think this is where Leo and myself comes in, where some of the things that we know, we impart on them, and even some things that they may tell us, we may incorporate in what we're doing. But again, I would never say that what they are doing is not good enough, because they're doing their best.
I see.
With what they have. I'll tell you, some of the coaches literally have to pay for the kids to go back and forth to training with their own money.
That's quite a difficult one. I think we need to end the conversation here, because if you're going to talk, we are never going to.
Right, yes.
Because when I spoke to the World Athletics president, he sounded as though someone who had a forensic knowledge of Ghana athletics. And in fact, he mentioned about this crop of athletes and told me that you've got a young generation of athletes who are very good, but you need to invest in the technical area of it. And that's quite an interesting one, because he spoke about the potential. He said that when he sees these athletes, he sees athletes with potential. He thinks a lot must be done in the technical area of it. I'm grateful you made up your time to speak to me, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I wish you well.
Thank you.